Thank you for joining Mr. Afrijar Fest.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? Our opening International of Bioentrepreneur webinar is about to begin. Please turn off your microphone and turn on the camera if it's possible. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Good morning and the best wishes for all of us. Ladies and gentlemen, over the next time, this meeting will provide you to plenty of opportunity to discuss, sharing knowledge and insight through an international bioentrepreneur webinar.
Before we proceed the program today, we would like to express our sincere gratitude to Director of Riau University, Profesor Dr. Insinyur Haji Aras Mulyadi, DEE.
And the second Dean of Faculty of Mathematics and Natural Science, Riau University, Mr. Alfizar, PhD.
And then the great keynote speaker who will fill the webinar in this morning.
And then the chairman of the Biology Department, Faculty of Mathematics and Natural Science, Dr. Fanda Julita Yahya, MSE, and all invited guests present this morning.
And then the chairman of program committee, and also to the who we are proud of the entire organizing committee and webinar participant who attend in this morning.
First, we thank to Allah, the God who has given us the opportunity to be able to attend this international bioentrepreneur webinar this morning. So there is hope that it will be benefit to all participants. Cause this international bioentrepreneur webinar, the aim of leading the role of the younger generation in developing knowledge based on bioentrepreneurship. In addition, bioentrepreneurs will be a solution to overcome this economic downturn in this pandemic.
So, without extending preamble, we will enter the series of events on today. The first event was the ongoing opening by Master of Ceremony. The next event is Excellencies our disguised guests to welcoming speech. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, we would like to invite to deliver his welcoming speech as the second Dean of Faculty of Mathematics and Natural Science, Riau University, Mr. Elvizar, PhD. To Mr. Elvizar, PhD. Screens is yours.
Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everybody. The Honorable Rector University of Riau, Professor Aras Mulyadi. The Honorable our speakers today, Head of Biology Department, Dr. Vanda Julita. The Honorable the committee chair and member, and the Honorable all of participants in this webinar, ladies and gentlemen. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin, wassalatu wassalamu ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajmain. Anak raja berwajah risau sebab pandemi semakin bertambah. Selamat datang di Universitas Riau, kampus bermarwah di kota bertuah. Please give me one applause. Oke, mendayung biduk menuju utara, biduk di dayung membawa kabar gembira. Jurusan biologi kebanggaan kita, akreditasinya A, dosen mahasiswanya ramah. Ladies and gentlemen, currently we are entering the second year of COVID-19 pandemic. So many disadvantages have been caused by this pandemic. We can see that many community businesses have closed. Therefore, we should look for new business opportunities that meet the current situation and condition. Bioentrepreneurship, I think, is one of the answers. This discipline combines biology, chemistry, medical, pharmacy with management, business, and marketing. From literatures, we know that bioentrepreneurship has good opportunities in the future. As long as there is human and life in this earth, we still need this discipline. Today, we learn this discipline in 2 hours. If you talk at yet other universities, bioentrepreneurship is already a department. Therefore, I think this is a challenge to the biology department in 2 or 3 years from now, how we have bioentrepreneurship department at Faculty of Mathematics and Natural Sciences, University of Riau. To all speakers, I highly appreciate your willingness to share this valuable knowledge in this event. And to the committee, I thank you all for conducting this great program. I really appreciate and support this event. Finally, to all participants, welcome to the University of Riau, especially at Faculty of Mathematics and Natural Sciences. And please follow this great webinar to the end. Enjoy the seminar and please have meal and drink at home. I think that's all speech that I can deliver today. Thank you very much for your attending and for your attention. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you so much for Mr. Elfizar PSG for the welcoming speech. The next event is our core event, where there are extraordinary moderator with undoubted achievements. She is the one of the biology students who have a myriad of achievements. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Nurul Izaza for our extraordinary moderator today. For Nurul Izaza, screen is yours.
All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are. Thanks to MC who have allowed me to continue this series of this agenda. Today, 5th June 2021, thanks to making a time and joining us for today's webinar, and welcome to the International Bioentrepreneur webinar. My name is Nurul Izaza. I'm an undergraduate student in Biology Department at Riau University. Will be responsible as a moderator to this webinar today. Well, before we enter our series of events on this morning, let me first convey the rules of our webinar. The rules as follow. Participants are expected to join the room 10 minutes before the webinar starts. Dress neatly and politely during this webinar. Participants are expected to turn off or mute the mic during this presentation unless invited by the moderator to speak on or want to ask questions. Those entitled to submit are moderator and keynote speaker. Participants are not allowed to exit the room without logical reason. During the webinar, participants are expected to activate the camera or on camera, especially during the communication session. Discussion will run in 1 hour and will be added with Q&A session lasting 25 minutes. For participants who want to ask questions, may put your question in the chat room, and participants may leave the room when the entire series of this event has been complete and closed by the moderator. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, I would like to welcome to our guests and keynote speaker who were both present together on this occasion. First, I respect the Deputy Rector of the University of Riau, Professor Dr. Iwantono MPhil. Thank you, Mr. to joining us to this webinar. I respect the second Dean, Faculty of Mathematics and Natural Science, Riau University, Mr. Elfizar, PhD. Thank you, Mr. to joining us to this webinar. And I would like to say welcome and good morning to all speakers, Mr. Amak, Mr. Arya, Mr. Widya, and Mrs. Charlini. How are you today? I hope for a good news and welcome to the Riau University, Indonesia. All right, how are you, fan, on this happy morning? I hope we are ready to discuss a very extraordinary and very interesting theme, for sure, because this material will help us to know how the prospect of bioentrepreneur. Ladies and gentlemen, becoming a young scientist who is capable and has bioentrepreneur skill is one of efforts to prepare Indonesia to become a developed country. Pandemic conditions encourage all elements to develop creative ideas that are able to thrive this unusual pandemic conditions. Bioentrepreneur has a good opportunity to develop because this business that is related to the life of many people and will never die and has a strategic place in the future. Therefore, Bioweb Unri collaboration with Indonesia LPDP Entrepreneur Community ILEC with proud to present an international bioentrepreneur webinar. Okay, today we have 4 amazing speakers. They are Mr. Amak Muhammad Yaakob, co-founder and CEO of the Limited Spiral Life Biotechnology Indonesia, Mr. Arianda Haryadi, CEO of the Orca Biotech Indonesia, Mr. Widya Putra, CEO of the Mush Home, and Ms. Charlini Eriza Putri, co-founder and CEO of the Nocentics. Okay, without further ado, we will turn the time over to the speaker. Just a little housekeeping for the audience. If you have any question during this presentation, please type them into the question box in your Zoom control panel. I will bring them up during this presentation, and we will also have time for the question at the end. All right. The first speaker is Mr. Amak Muhammad Yaakob. He is a CEO of the Limited Spiral Life Biotechnology Indonesia and currently a PhD candidate in Operation Management from Research Institute, University of Groningen, the Netherlands. Mr. Ahmad will talking about definition of bioentrepreneur in general and will present about his business in Spiral Life Biotechnology Indonesia. All right, to Mr. Muhammad Yakub, time is yours.
Thank you very much. Hi, everyone. Allow me to share my screen. Yeah. Okay, good morning, Mr. Rector and also Mr. Vice Dean and fellow speakers and everyone who attend this beautiful meeting. Good morning. And first of all, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to Universitas Riau and the Ilec committee for having me in this morning. My name is Ahmad. I'm from Spiral Life. And yeah, as the moderator have stated previously, that I'm currently doing my PhD at Radboud University Groningen in the Netherlands. Maybe some of you familiar with this university because in 2016, one of our faculty member, Professor Ben Feringa, won the Nobel Prize in chemistry for the design and synthesis of molecular machines. And I also the co-founder of Spiral Life. It is a microalgae biotechnology startup. I co-founded this company with my fellow PhD student at the time, but now he has a PhD degree in microbiology. So one can say that he does all the complex scientific thing, while my role in this startup is doing the more straightforward issues like doing the business, market sensing, and of course counting the cash flow. And today I would like to other than introducing my startup, I also would like to say something about what is bioentrepreneurship, as the committee asked me to explain a little bit about this issue. So let's start with that. So this is, let's start with the definition. The bioentrepreneurship is the process of creating value. So it is a process and it is creating value from life science innovation. So the term is often used interchangeably with other labels, for example, bioscience entrepreneurship, life science entrepreneurship, or bioscience enterprise. So, but whatever the descriptor, the fundamental notion about bioentrepreneurship is, this stream of knowledge is trying to move life science discovery or invention from the research phase through development to a commercial market. So the bioentrepreneurs seek to exploit life science innovation for commercial purpose. So for example, it includes in the field of health and nutrition, energy, agriculture, and etc. And one must understand that innovation is different from an idea or invention. Idea is something that pops in your mind when you're having shower, but the invention is drawing, design, model, or prototype you're made based on the idea. And the innovation itself is the product of the service that creates value for the marketplace. And in this beautiful occasion, I assume that you, the attendee of the seminar, have a passion for getting involved in bioentrepreneurship. And I think this is a very noble ambition because currently Indonesia lack with bioentrepreneurs. So I can show you some figures. So this is the figure of the biotechnology innovation score. Yeah. Can you copy me now?
Yes.
I think there was a glitch in the connection, I guess.
Yes, it's already normal now.
Okay. Okay, nice. Good to know that. Okay, I will continue with this figure. So this figures is represent the distillation of the scientific American Worldview scorecard. It is developed by Dr. Yali Friedman in 2009. There are 7 indicators to measure the level of biotechnology innovation in a country level. So the indicator was the productivity or the output of the innovation, the intellectual property protection, R&D innovation or R&D intensity of a country, and education and also the workforce, number of masters and PhD in biotech related subjects. So it's pretty complete to to give some glance of picture about the condition of biotechnology habitat or biotechnology in a nation. So as we can see here, our number or our position in this graph, Indonesia currently falls behind the race of biotechnology innovation. Among the 54 surveyed countries, we are in the position of 52nd. So it's far below our closest neighbor, Malaysia. They are in 27. And please don't compare us with Singapore because we can be looked so clumsy because they are in the 2nd position. So yeah, what I want to underline in this graph or using this data is that we really need more well-rounded bioentrepreneurs. So everyone, including you, are welcome to revitalize the business in Indonesia. But however, before you decide, you must understand that life as a bioentrepreneur is indeed cool. It seems cool. It seems you are a cool guy around the corner, but sometimes it's not as comfortable as one might see. Here's why. Because the challenge of doing this bioentrepreneurship is different from typical entrepreneurs. Bioentrepreneurship is significantly different. For instance, in terms of regulations, you do not need to worry about ethical committees in typical startup. If you want to, introduce, for example, applications, kind of that stuff using online, mobile mediated applications, you don't need to worry about ethical issues. While in biotechnology companies, you need to get approval from ethical committees. For example, in Indonesia, we have BPOM. And yes, one can say that biotech-based startup is highest strictly regulated sector in business. And the biotech startup take more time for the development of products, and also take more money to develop the products or to develop the business, right? Learning from our case from Spiral Life, although we are born in 2020, just like 1 year ago. But before we decide to enter this business, our co-founder, my partner, the one that worked in scientific thing, already did all the process in 2010. So he did the research, and also that includes 4 years of intense collaborations with numerous scientists in the Netherlands during his PhDs. And also in terms of risk, bioentrepreneurship must also mitigate more risk than the typical entrepreneurs. So other than dealing with market risk, execution risk, financial risk, team risk, the bioentrepreneurs also dealing with scientific uncertainty risk and also regulatory risk. And if this inconvenient truth does not stop you from starting a biotech company, then I think nothing will. And so let's talk about the typical process one will go through into the journey. This is the typical life cycle of biotech startup. We have the team formations. You have to find the very nice and complementing each other founders, and also, yeah, this is the practical or the typical life cycle of bio entrepreneurs. I will not dive deeper into this topic because doing so will require 1 or 2 semesters. But instead, I will try to portray a glance of this process based on the case of Spiralife. So I hope we can learn from what we have gone through so far, and you can maybe copy what success thing that we think you can take from our case, and you can avoid what mistakes that we already had in the past. So, and what I want to highlight is, no matter what kind of biotechnology startup you are going to introduce, whether it is related to energy, agriculture, pharmaceutical, health, etc., one must start with problem sensing and verification. So understanding the problem is the key part of, before you start this bioentrepreneurs. Additionally, you also really aware about the development of the life science behind the bioentrepreneurship or the biotechnology you are going to dealing with. So from the case of Spiralife, this is our problems. This is the problems that we are willing to participate in having the solution. The first is related to the Indonesia's high dependence on imported pharmaceutical raw materials. We already know from a lot of publications stating these issues that at this moment 95%, since like 3 or 5 years ago, 95% of consumed pharmaceutical products in Indonesia is actually imported. And the problem is very high for us because we are a high populated country. So depending 95% of our pharmaceutical products from imported product is very dangerous, in my opinion. And our fellow in this industry often make a joke that the other 5% is actually the water. So actually, we only use water from our country, while the other stuffs, the other raw material, we import from, we source from other countries. So this is very dangerous. And the second is the high rate of nutritional deficiencies or stunting among Indonesian children. We have the data from the UNICEF that before the pandemic, so we can think, or we can guess that this number is getting higher during the pandemic related to the nutritional deficiencies for the children in Indonesia. So at the time before the pandemic, approximately 2 million Indonesian children were exposed with nutritional deficiencies. So this is a huge problem. And also more than 7 million, or 1 out of 3 children under 5 years exposed with stunting. So we know this is a very alarming, this is very heartbreaking for us. So that's why we want to contribute in solving this problem by with microalgae. So those who don't really know about what microalgae, it is nature's tiniest powerhouse. One can say that because it's microscopic, 1 until 50 pico. Yeah, this microscopic organism. You can only see it through microscope, and it lives in seawater, with fresh water, and sometimes in industrial wastewater. And yeah, we try to solve these 2 problems using our business. And why microalgae? This is the product relevance of microalgae. It has attracted significant interest worldwide due to the extensive application potentials. So we can see in this figure that many of the derivative product from microalgae, so we can process microalgae culture into biomass for direct use, for example, for human food, animal fodder, and also food supplements. And we can also process it a bit further. We can process it, become biofuels and also bioproducts. For example, we can extract the PUFA and etc. And this is the end product that can be derived from microalgae culture. We have, this is food supplements and also some health supplements and coloring for food and also for how to say it, cosmetic purposes. Like this is the masker from spirulina. So apart from food ingredients, microalgae can also be utilized as raw materials for plastic biopolymers and also cosmetics. And related to the stunting problem, some microalgae species, for example, spirulina, they have very high protein and other micronutrient compounds that can be used as a tool to combat stunting. So many success stories have been reported in scientific journal. For example, in India and also in Palestine, the use of spirulina as tools to combat the stunting. So we want to replicate that success story in Indonesia using our business. And the second thing that you really need to understand before you start your biotech company or biotech startup is you really need to understand the market potential of the product. So sometimes it's really cool to solve the huge national problem, but it won't go nicely if your product or your offering doesn't have any market potentials. As for microalgae, before we start this business, we already learned the market potential. It says that the market size of microalgae-based product has been predicted to increase with the CAGR at 4.3%. The growth of the market itself is 4.3%. So this is there's a lot of things to do in this area. So we can learn from this figure that way. And of course, we want to create value. So what means by value is, we want to have, the spare from the cost that we have to pay with the potential market price. So as for microalgae, what we learned before we start this business, we know that the market price is, like 40 or 50 kilogram per kilogram biomass. So it's like, while the production cost, if we produce it in Indonesia, it can be around only 10, 12, 15 is the most, the highest cost. So we can see that, we can get quite nice numbers by producing and also marketing the microalgae product. So that's why, thanks to the considerable benefit, the market potential microalgae product is enormous. And no wonder some more developed countries, they intensively invest in microalgae industry. For example, Algatech in Israel or Cyanotech in Hawaii. So if you ever heard about the Hawaiian spirulina, is actually produced by this company, or in China. But in Indonesia, although we have a very great potential because the microalgae cultivation requires solar energy and also clean water, which is in Indonesia, we have very abundant of it. We are lagging in technological development. But many Indonesian experts, including our co-author, who are Netherlands alumni, some of other person also in Indonesia are very capable, actually very capable. But what we need to do is to collaborate between our expertise to introduce this business. And this is our business model. So simply put, we produce dry biomass and also we put some value adding process and we sell it as B2B business into food and beverage industry, supplement, and also personal care. This is our milestone so far. Thanks God, Alhamdulillah, we received some funding from venture capital, a a couple of months ago, and now we are planning to leverage our production capacity. And yeah, nicely to say, we receive huge support from Groningen. In fact, all of our laboratory tools are actually donation from them. So we're really happy for that. And this is our next strategic planning. And yeah, my time is already 15 minutes. And yeah, I want to close my presentation by stating that we are now hiring because yeah, some based on the previous PowerPoint that we are currently in the high rise, and also there are a lot of things to do in the next couple of months. So we are hiring. So if you want to know what positions are available, you can follow our Instagram at spiralife.co.id. You can ask, you can DMs, and yeah. Thank you very much for the time, and I hope I have shared a little bit of knowledge that might be beneficial for you. Thank you very much for having me.
All right. All right. Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Ahmad Muhammad Yaakob, for awesome presentation. The talking point about bioentrepreneurship is the process creating the value of the life science innovations, such as health and nutrition, energy, enzyme, environment, agriculture, and etc. And your presentation impressed me. Your business use microalgae as the main component to your product and making a variety products such as like supplement, spirulina mask, and cosmetic is really amazing.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, Mr. Ahmad Muhammad Yaakob,
You're welcome.
for your presentation. Okay, we jump to next speaker, Mr. Aryananda Haryadi. He is a CEO of the Orca Biotech Indonesia and Master Science student in University in Newcastle, Scotland. The topic is Bioentrepreneur Innovation Development and present about his business in Orca Biotech Indonesia. To Mr. Aryananda Haryadi, time is yours.
All right. Thank you, Nur, for the kind introduction. First of all, highest regards to Mr. Vice Dean, Pak Elfizar, and also Mr. Rector, Professor Mulyadi, Professor Prof. Aras. So thank you for the committee as well for organizing this event. And today I would like to present a bit about my company, the company that I'm pursuing now, that is Orca Biotech. I'm going to share screen now. Okay. All right. Can you see my presentation now? All right, sure. Okay, so yeah, first of all, thank you for the committee for inviting me to have this opportunity to share about the enterprise that we're pursuing right now, that is Orca Biotechnology Nusantara. So Orca itself initiated in the late 2017. We started off as a consulting and agency company. So first of all, we provided in a consultancy and agency for molecular biology and biotechnology activities. So this is a bit about me. I was graduated in life science and technology in ITB, and for my master's in Edinburgh by LPDP scholarships. And now I'm the current CEO of Orca. I'm also a managing editor in Indonesian Journal of Cancer in Darmais Hospital in Jakarta. I'm also the deputy president for Perkumpulan Biologi Medik Indonesia, and I was employed by several healthcare institutions as a molecular biology researchers. And I think most of the experiences that I had from being a molecular biology researchers actually triggered me to start this a biotech company. So let's start a bit about the background of why we need to nurture the the biotech startup, the biological fields in Indonesia. So we all know that Indonesia have mega biodiversity, right? So we are the second highest rank of the most abundant biodiversity in the world. I think just after Brazil with their Amazon forest. So with this as a capital, this as the main capital, with the help of molecular biology and biotechnology, we can actually address quite a lot of problems that we're facing in the world, including disease through pharma. I think it has been covered by Spiralife, one of the examples, and also we can address climate change as well by bioenergy, just for an example. And then we can also address food problems by increasing crop yield, and we can make more jobs for sure. And through this field, I think we can contribute more for the world. So this is one of the way how Indonesia can contribute a lot. Yes.
Can you slideshow your presentation, your PowerPoint in the slideshow mode?
All right.
I'm so
sorry. Sorry. Is there a problem with my presentation? Sorry.
All right.
Can you see it now?
Okay. Yes.
All right. Okay.
All right.
Sorry for the technical.
Okay. Thanks, Mr. Arya.
So wait. Let's get back a bit. So yeah, with the help of molecular biology and biotechnology, Indonesia can actually contribute a lot for the world because we have the mega biodiversity. We have all the capitals that we need to make everything that we want. Active substances. We have everything that we can exploit and explore in Indonesia. But if we don't do that, I think the world will use our biological resources. So it's very important for us to at least strengthen our capital knowledge, to defend our biological resources in Indonesia. So I think it's very important for Indonesia to, keep strengthening the field of molecular biology and biotechnology, and therefore making startups as well, making bioentrepreneurships. So simply put, in Indonesia, the experts in molecular biology are still very limited. So I'm expecting maybe more students from Universitas Riau to be interested in molecular biology further. And the needs and interest in molecular biology is just continuously growing. We can see it also emerging in this time of pandemics. You can hear, people are talking about PCRs, about antibody tests, about antigen tests, even common people, maybe tukang ojek, they're start talking about PCR. So more people are more familiar with molecular biology, and so it's a good momentum for us to, start growing faster. And also the supporting materials in Indonesia are very limited because they're very reliant to import. I think this problem is not only in biotechnology. Lots of problem in Indonesia is because the lack of independency of raw materials. And this is our mission statement. So our vision is to catalyze life science advancements in Indonesia. And our mission is to produce best polymer and chemical consumables for life science applications, and to provide consultancy and agency, and also to support collaborative and innovative ecosystems for the development and acceleration of life science advancements in Indonesia. We want to nourish the ecosystems, we want to retain as much as possible, as many younger scientists as possible in the field. And these are our company values. First of all, we have to be innovative. I know that we are in a limited facility right now, and that's why we really need to focus on innovations. We have to maximize the potentials that we have although we have limited facilities. But other than that, we have to stay scientific. So we have to make sure that the innovation that we serve is always scientific and at most updated. But most of all, last but not least, we have to be ethical. So above all, we always hold ethics as our highest priority. As we know that I think the fastest growing fields in the world is now information technology and biotechnology. and I think they're very prone to violating ethical sides of it, and they're growing so fast that the ethical sides sometimes couldn't catch up with the technological acceleration. So that's why we need to have a strong ethical compass, not to mess things around with our innovation and our technology. So these are our products. We have 3 lines of products. First of all, consulting and agency, and then we also provide polymers, which is basically all plastic consumables that they're being used in laboratory, and also Orca Life Science that produces chemical reagents and kits for life science applications as well. Let's start with the consulting and agency service. So lots of people actually, and mostly are from outside of the field of life science, are interested in doing bio-related research. Not only research, they're also interested in making services as well. But they have no idea on how to conduct research or the experimentations, and that's why we provide consultancy and agency. And actually, this is how we started. So ORCA itself is an abbreviation from Omics Research Consulting and Agency. So initially, this is how we got our initial capital. So we do protocol development, we do proposal design, and we even do data analysis. We do the hands-on experiments, and we also do the reporting and manuscript development. It's interesting because because there are lots of people outside of our field that want to do something with bio-related activities, but they don't understand how to do it. So I think this is quite promising as well. So these are the projects that we've done so far. We're still in ongoing collaboration with FKUI, doing research about ovarian cancer, stem cell, and chemo resistance. And there are lots of other projects that have been done before. We did some research about AI in improving in vitro fertilization atau bayi tabung. And then we did quite a lot of developing methods for genetic mutations in patients, and also in validating point of care testing in lung mycosis. So this is about Orca polymer. So usually this is the normal way of having getting plastic consumables in Indonesia, and also chemical consumables, I think. So the factory in manufacturing countries will make the plastic consumables, and they will have an OEM contract with brands like big brands like Thermo Scientific or Eppendorf or Corning, such things like that. But they usually get the goods from the manufacturing countries like India or China, and then the brands will import their goods to their country in Germany or in America, for example. And then us, the buyers, orders from Indonesia, and from the brand country, they will have to send the items again to Indonesia, and they have to go through the customs and tax, and then further we will receive the goods. So it takes lengthy procedures. It takes up to 2 to 3 months, and it will have multiple overhead markups, and it makes it expensive. It can be up to 2 to 3 times higher compared to the advertised price. And also it has lots of carbon footprints because they have to send it from one country to another to our country. So that's very inefficient, in short. So in Orca, we say, let's just bypass all these steps. We can actually obtain everything from the factory, and then we maintain here with in-house QC. And the result will that we will have inexpensive and high quality, because the quality is basically the same with the branded items, and it's also fast. We can make it ready to stock. These are the QC that we do in Orca. So we do acid resistance and thermal resistance, and also organic substance low retention. All right. Okay. So we need to make sure that the quality of our polymers are high. So we need to see the interactions in extreme conditions, such as in high acid or high thermal, because you know plastics consumables in laboratory need to be autoclaved, and they have to be autoclavable several times, so they will be in very extreme conditions, and it needs to be low retention, meaning that they have to have, you know, inert quality. They're required to not interact with the substance that we're using. So we can see here that our products is generally better in the microstructure changes after being treated in extreme conditions. And the certifications are endotoxin free, DNase free, RNase free, and pyrogen free. And this on the right are the graphic of the polymer mass loss in hexane, which is the acid. So our product is quite good compared to the other brands, because it interacts very minimally with the hexane, and also with the organic solvent. It is actually it has actually the lowest interaction compared to the other brands. These are the products, very simple. We have tips from filtered to non-filtered racks and bulk, and we have tubes as well, all kinds of tubes, and racks to put all the tubes, and other accessories like bottles and culture flasks and petri dish and things like that. And this is about Orca Life Science. So most of the chemical consumables are still required to be imported, as I told you before. So we established a protocol for DNA isolation kit, and we also established production protocol and facility for simple buffers production. So we start very simple, start doing anything that we can. And the latest product is we make a PCR kit for COVID-19 diagnosis. Well, the raw materials are all still being imported, but it's designed and assembled here in Indonesia. This is actually following the path of my senior, Mbak Sharlini here. So we make the PCR kits as well, and it has been commercialized already. So yeah, we only need 4 components in this kit. That is the master mix and the primer probe, the positive control, and nuclease-free water. Targeting 3 genes, 3 different genes, which is the N gene, the RDRP, and RNase-P as the internal control. And because we're a self-funded company, we don't have big investors. We started by doing bootstrapping, lots of bootstrappings. So people are actually our most valuable assets. So this is me, and this is Angga Wijaya, our executive assistant. Is actually doing all the administrative works, and this is Dick. He's a graduate from Imperial College London. He's a biomaterial scientist. This guy is a generalist, or is actually a driver. And there is Mr. Data here is the molecular diagnostic specialist, so we consult to him about all related to molecular diagnostics. And this is the chief scientific officer. And this one here, Matera, is a cell biologist, so she's responsible for most of the consulting and agency projects. Extensively, we have a scientific team. Other than that, there is Mutiara Anissa. Maybe you might have heard her from the pandemic talks. She's the initiator of pandemic talks. And there is Erika. She's studying immunology now for her PhD in University of Heidelberg. There is Ilma Equilibrina. She's specialized in drug development from Osaka University. And there's also Duyantari Widyaningrum, which is she's specialized in genetic engineering, graduated from Kochi University, Japan. I think that's it that I can deliver for now. Thank you for your kind attention. Thanks for the opportunity again. And I would be very happy if there is any questions that might needed to be answered at the end of the event. Thank you. Back to you, Nurul.
Thank you, Mr. Arianda Haradi. It was very interesting presentation, I think. And some of the key point that Mr. Arianda Haryadi mentioned is in Indonesia, experts in molecular biology are still limited, but on other hand, the needs and interesting in molecular biology is continuously growing. And the one of the impress is one good point is the vision of the Orca Biotech Indonesia to catalyze science advancement in Indonesia. And the another important point from Mr. Arianda Haryadi said that Orca Biotechnology Indonesia can provide to consultancy an agency. Actually, this how Orca Biotech Indonesia can initiate it as a mixed research consulting and agency. It was awesome. Thank you so much, Mr. Ariananda Haryadi. A very, very interesting presentation, I think. Okay, before we jump to the next speaker, just a little housekeeping for the audience. If you have the question, please type into the question box in your Zoom control panel. I will bring them up during the presentation, and we will have the time for the question at the end. Okay, the next speaker is Mr. Widya Putra, CEO of Match Home and Master Science student in Wageningen University, the Netherlands. Mr. Widya will talking about potential and prospect for bioentrepreneur during a pandemic situation, and also talking about his business in Match Home. To Mr. Widya, time is yours.
Okay, thank you, Miss Nurul, for your introduction to me. Okay, so I will show my presentation. Will sure. Okay, is it clear right now?
Yes, clear, Mr.
Okay, so so before my colleague before, Mr. Aryananda, talk more about the biotechnology or biotech. Talk more about biotechnology. But now we move on more about bioentrepreneur, but more focus on the food side. So I will more give you some example of our product to give you some thinking how we can create from the mushroom to a lot of kind of product. Okay, let me see. Okay, this is my profile, so we just keep it. So the first one, before we talk about the mushroom, why we choose mushroom? Because mushroom is one of I think one of the, because my background is microbiology, and I think mushroom is one of the microscopic thing that is cute also, and also is delicious, you know. So that's why we choose mushroom as our main business. And this is the first one of our product. It released in 2016. So this is called mushroom box. So if you can see here, maybe most of you are biology student or biotech or microbiology students. So this is quite simple actually. If you can see here, this is the mushroom spawn inside of the box, and we develop not only one type, but also different type of the mushrooms like pink one, and also the golden one or yellow one. So all of them are edible mushroom. And inside of that, as I told you before, this is the mushroom spawn, and we just make it like to create the cute packaging or good packaging, and then it can give high value of the product. If I can say to you, it can create like 5 times, even not 5, or maybe around 3 to 4 times in the price of this box. So you can see here, as if one day some of you become entrepreneur, you can think like not always we need to high technology, but sometimes we also can be a kind of like as simple as make good packaging or make a good concept of the product, and then you can sell it higher or more expensive than the other product. And the second one is the mushroom tips. What is interesting here, what I want to show you, you can see here is this is the how to say, the change or continuously improvement from our first packaging like this, or just put sticker, and then we can get this plastic packaging like everywhere, like in plastic shop. Because at first, why we choose this one, because this is cheap, and we also can find everywhere, right? That's why so big as when you start, usually you start small, right? But you dream big. That's why you can start it like this to try the market too, and then later on, if the market is growing, and then you can change to this kind of packaging, right? So because if you want to get this kind of packaging, you need to print it with minimum like 1,000 pieces. So that's why at first you just use a kind of sticker to test your market, but then when it grows, and then you can change like this. And you can see here, we also put a little sticker here, right? Because we actually we have like 4 flavors for chips, but then to cut the cost, we just print 1,000, but then for all the flavor, we just put a sticker like that. So, but and later on, this is the difference is actually the brand. What I want to show here is we changed the brand from Mochi to mushroom chips. So why? Because at that time, when we try to sell the product, the Mochi product, and then someone like text us like to warning us like because the brand is quite similar with her. So that's why in order to think long term, we change it to mushroom chips. Here, what I want to show you or remember you that this is the importance of the brand. That's why when you want to make a product, you need to check the brand first. Because yeah, maybe some of you also know like geprek bensu, right? Several months ago, also a case. So this is one of the most important thing as you an entrepreneur, whatever it is, biotechnology or food technology entrepreneur, you need to concern about the brand, right? And then later on, you can see here from the sticker, just little sticker here, and then right now we change it to every flavor. We have like every packaging like this. So this is what I want to show you, the step by step. Not sometimes people or our generation, millennial generation, want instantly, right? You want like, okay, good, or just put a lot of money to do business. But if you just have limited resource, limited money, you can handle it one step by one step. So, and you also can enjoy the process of your journey of entrepreneurship, I would say. Okay. The third one is we make a kind of like mushroom broth. So mushroom broth, why? What is the inspiration behind it? So the inspiration is because in Indonesian market before, it is like there are a lot of import mushroom broth from China. So we think like, why we are a rich country actually, right? We have a lot of resource. Why why are not we can make by ourselves. That's why we challenge ourselves to make this kind of product. And also I think the trend of Indonesian people and all over the world, like healthy product is more and more popular in society, right? And people like to eat less MSG or even no MSG. So mushroom broth is one of the best choice. And another product is the dendeng abon, or yeah, this is we see the opportunity like bon chabe. Bon chabe is one of, I think, popular in students too, right? But then what is the differences? Because if you want to compete with Bon Chabe, this is the big company, and just useless if you make the same product. That's why we put a kind of like seaweed inside, and also the flows or the dendeng inside, to make a difference between your product and the competitor. Okay, and later on, this type of product is quite unique actually, because we put in one box some of the products inside. So this is, I would say, what I want to say here is how you can combine some of your product in one package to make it a unique selling point too. So inside of this box, we also have the mushroom growing kit, the mushroom broth, the chips, and also we make a kind of education games. So for example, like this, so we call it the first board game about mushroom in the world. So we make a kind of like snake board game, you know, but this is first version of mushroom version. So you can see here, this is like 12 types of mushroom we introduce. Actually, our market is the children. That's why we make it cute or a unique design of it. Okay, and during the pandemic, like last year, we also developed quite a lot of frozen food product. Maybe some of you also hear like people like past baby, we cannot go anywhere, a restaurant is closing, and people just buy frozen food to stock for their home, like that. And we create the plant-based food, frozen food. So this is some of them: siomai, fish fillet, sausage, nugget, and dendeng, like that. So, but what is the unique point of this product is we don't use any animal at all. So mostly we use the mushroom, around 50 to 60% of the composition, and we make it as similar as the meat one. So this is the unique selling point that we want to show you. And also last year during pandemic, also we launched a type of seasoning, instant seasoning, but typical traditional Indonesian food, to see the demand for also the seasoning, Indonesian seasoning. And the last one, this is for the seaweed. So mostly our business use or utilize the mushroom, but also this is one of our new product, use the seaweed. Okay. So yeah, this is the voucher for participant today's. If you want to try our product, feel free. So just screen capture or just take a photo for the voucher, and then you can get 10% discount for our product. So yeah, this is my presentation. Thank you for your attention. Back to yours, Miss Nurul.
All right. Wow. Thank you very much, Mr. Widya Putra. Was interesting presentation, and some of the talking point of Mr. Widya Putra mentioned is one from the simple idea, which is only use mushroom, mix creativity, we can to make an extraordinary product that's needed by the community during this pandemic conditions. And your presentation impressed me that your business and team use mushroom, but can make innovative product. That's one have talked before, and with added kind of the education and something unique on your product packaging. And lastly, yeah, for all of you guys, if you want to buy and get much home, kindly grab it and with follow their account Instagram and get the discount with this voucher, right? Thank you so much, Mr. Widya Putra. Okay. Okay, the last our speaker, she is a beautiful and young person. She is the co-founder and CEO of Nusantics, and she is the master science student at Imperial College, London. Yes, Miss Charlini Eliza Putri. Miss Charlini Eliza Putri will talking about sustainability and the role of bioentrepreneur in realizing the goals of SDGs 2030 and present about his business in Nusantics. Well, Miss Charlini Eliza Putri, time is yours.
Thank you, Ibu Moderator. May I have the permission to speak in Bahasa Indonesia?
Sure, but if you can to speak in
Please,
English.
please.
All right, Miss Charlene, if you want to talking in English, but if you want to talk, if you want to talking in English,
because considering the complexity of my presentation, I think that would be better for all of us to hear me speaking in Bahasa Indonesia. Is it okay?
It is okay, Miss.
Oke. Terima kasih semuanya. Terima kasih banget. Saya di sini baru tahu kalau ternyata hari ini tuh sebenarnya event dari acara alumni LPDP juga. Jadi sebagai alumni LPDP senang banget bisa sharing di sini. Lagi tadi udah ketemu sama teman-teman yang emang udah kenal seperti Kakak Widya, dan sebelumnya udah kenal juga dari acara-acara online lah ya, misalnya kayak tadi ada Kak Amak, ada Kak Ariananda juga. Nah, sekarang gantian, kali ini tuh, ini udah kelihatan lah ya share screen saya? Kelihatan ya? Oke, jadi kayak saya kemarin itu di brief untuk sharing tentang bioentrepreneurship dan sustainable development. Kayak apa sih hubungannya sama gue sebenarnya kayak gitu. Tapi sebelumnya mungkin sekilas kenalan, nama saya Charlene. Saya ini adalah co-founder dan CEO dari Nusantics. Saya alumni LPDP juga, PK5, masih awal-awal banget. Dan saya ini adalah 100% engineer, jadi saya bukan orang biologi. Tapi meskipun bukan orang biologi, dari awal lulus itu juga ya selalu ada interseksi sama biologi, itu yang bakal diceritain. Nah, sekilas tentang Nusantics, mungkin teman-teman tahu Nusantics dari 1 atau 3 hal berikut lah. Kalau anak-anak gaul Jaksel nih biasanya tahu Nusantics karena skin swab service kita itu rame. Jadi orang-orang itu bisa datang, kulitnya di swab, dia tahu kulitnya banyakkan bakteri atau jamur, terus dari situ dia jadi tahu ingredients apa yang boleh, apa yang enggak. Misalnya kayak kulitku itu jamurnya itu banyak, makanya kalau pakai skincare yang salah-salah jadinya beruntusan dan jerawatan henti gitu kan, karena banyakkan jamur gitu. Tapi kalau pakai air wudhu aja aman-aman aja kayak gitu. Jadi kalau anak-anak gaul itu biasanya kenalnya Nusantics tuh ini, dan ini udah agak lama. Tapi terus tiba-tiba kena pandemi kan kita harus survive. Akhirnya kita bikin line bisnis baru, dimajuin ke line diagnostik, dimana mungkin teman-teman tahu kayak PCR test kit pertama yang diproduksi di Indonesia itu diproduksi oleh Bio Farma, itu desainnya waktu itu dari Nusantics. Nah, setelah ada test kit ini, biaya tes PCR di Indonesia tuh turun dari yang tadinya 2,5 juta bisa jadi kayak 800.000. Nah, yang ketiga, kalau teman-teman suka nonton di Cinema 21 dan segala macam, mungkin tahu ngecek gitu kan, apakah sistem sirkulasinya mereka itu udah cukup untuk mendilusi virus sehingga dipastikan kayak nggak ada virus di ruangannya, tapi bukan artinya nggak pakai masker gitu. Itu sekilas yang diketahui tentang Nusantics. Tapi sebenarnya Nusantics itu apa sih? Nusantics itu kita ngomongnya sesimpelnya itu adalah microbiome application company. Jadi segala sesuatu tentang virus, jamur, archaea, dan bakteri, dan diceritakan, dibahasakan dengan bahasa-bahasa manusia yang non-biologis pun tahu. Seperti itu. Nah, kayak fundamental philosophy of Nusantics itu adalah fakta bahwa berdasarkan riset-riset terbaru itu ternyata kita tidak boleh lagi melihat kita sebagai manusia itu sebagai single species. Karena ternyata kita sama terumbu karang nggak beda jauh gitu kan. Kita sama-sama holobiont. Ternyata setengah dari sel yang ada di badan kita itu bukan punya kita, tapi punyanya si microbiome tadi gitu. Nah, terus di sini kayak microbiome ini kan ternyata kayak ibaratnya kita kayak negara sendiri gitu kan. Di mulut ada warga negaranya sendiri, di kulit sendiri, di paru-paru sendiri, di usus sendiri. Nah, ini tuh sebenarnya benar-benar mengignite imagination dari kami di Nusantics adalah karena fakta bahwa namanya bisnis-bisnis yang ditawarkan untuk manusia, mau itu personal care, mau itu makanan, mau itu diet, dan segala macam itu tidak pernah mengconsider fakta kalau kita itu adalah holobiont, kalau ada microbiome yang harus dikasih makan juga. Misalnya, kasus susu formula bayi. Dulu pas susu formula itu dibuat, yang benar-benar ditakar itu adalah gulanya gitu kan, lemaknya, proteinnya, dan segala macam kayak gitu. Melupakan fakta kalau ternyata yang juga nggak kalah penting dalam perkembangan bayi di awal-awal kehidupan itu adalah keseimbangan microbiome yang ada di usus bayi gitu. Misalnya ada satu bakteri yang penting banget dalam perkembangan bayi, namanya Bifidobacterium infantis. Pasti teman-teman udah pada tahu kan. Nah, B infantis itu makan apa sih? Ternyata dia itu hanya bisa makan human milk oligosaccharides. Di mana di zaman-zaman saya kecil dulu, namanya susu formula nggak ada yang pakai human milk oligosaccharides. Makanya pantesan aja kan kalau pamannya minum susu formula, bayi langsung pupnya warnanya hijau, dia lebih rentan eczema, lebih rentan alergi dan segala macam. Baru setelah ada advancement di penelitian microbiome ini, beberapa susu formula internasional itu mensintesis human milk oligosaccharides untuk menjadi bagian dari susu formulanya. Itu hanya satu contoh dari susu formula. Banyak inovasi lainnya di bumi ini, mau itu skincare, mau itu obat jerawat, mau itu sabun mandi, mau itu deterjen, nggak pernah mengonsider fakta kalau the half of everything is microbiome. Makanya ini menjadi potensi bisnis yang besar banget. Nah, kemudian bioentrepreneurship. Kenapa sih penting? Apalagi buat kita nih orang Indonesia nih. Karena teman-teman, tolong dicatat dan jangan lupa. The next tech itu bukan lagi digital. Digital itu bakal cuman jadi tools. Karena the next tech is biology. Artinya apa? Jadi setelah pandemi ini sebenarnya kita itu dipercepat. Dipercepat, kita nggak sengaja memasuki golden era di mana biologi itu sebagai teknologi. Artinya apa? Artinya dengan kemajuan genomic sequencing, dengan kita bisa mengumpulkan data-data itu, kita bisa dapat dari situ kita bisa membuat makanan baru sintetis. Misalnya kita bisa mengeluarkan terapi dan cures baru, misalnya kayak untuk microbiome therapeutics itu kedepannya itu kan akan menjadi ecobiotics untuk alternatif dari antibiotics, misalnya kan kayak gitu. Karena antibiotik sekarang itu kan problemnya ya ampun amit-amit banget ya. Tahun 2030 aja diprediksi namanya kematian tertinggi itu adalah akibat antibiotik resisten bakteria kayak gitu. Terus dengan kita lebih paham lagi bagaimana suatu makhluk hidup itu berfungsi, ke depannya itu namanya computing itu kan pasti lebih ada masuk ke titik singularity lah seperti itu. Kemudian dengan kita juga memahami kode-kode genetik itu, kita ke depannya juga bisa mensintesis material baru. Misalnya bayangin aja kalau misalnya ada tali gitu yang bisa dipakai buat penyangga jembatan-jembatan yang gede-gede, dia itu sangat enteng tapi dia elastis dan kuat seperti jaring laba-laba misalnya kayak gitu kan. Atau yang udah digunakan sekarang dengan berbagai pemahaman di dunia mikrobiologi, ini kan juga mempercepat untuk pembuatan clean fuels kan, misalnya kayak biofuels dan segala macam kayak gitu. Mungkin kalau kalian kolaborasi lagi dengan anak teknik elektro atau teknik fisika, kita bisa tahu kalau ternyata ya kayak yang bio-based inspired design ini bisa dijadikan inovasi untuk membuat sensor baru dan diagnostik baru. Kira-kira seperti itu. Nah, tapi yang harus kita sama-sama pahami di sini, meskipun the next golden era is biology, bukan artinya lulusan biologi itu jadi paling diincar. Karena lulusan biologi itu ujung-ujungnya akan diincar kalau memang marketnya ada. Kalau memang bisnisnya itu gede di Indonesia, sehingga bakal diincar kayak gitu. Nah, di sini kalau dari teman-teman sebelumnya kan udah sharing tuh dengan detail dan bagus banget lah dari technicalities-nya tentang bioentrepreneurship seperti apa. Cuman di sini yang mau saya garis bawahi itu adalah dalam kita menjadi suatu bioentrepreneur, yang paling penting itu adalah implementasi akhir. Dan permintaan netizen adalah sakti. Itu penting banget. Netizen itu sakti, kawan-kawan, gitu kan. Apa sih maksudnya implementasi akhir itu adalah kunci, gitu kan. Misalnya, seorang insinyur biologi, dia pasti tahu banget lah betapa pentingnya suatu bakteri namanya B. infantis, misalnya kayak gitu. Tapi ujung-ujungnya itu di tangan marketer yang bisa menentukan apakah B. infantis ini bisa dinilai penting atau enggak sama sama siapa, sama masyarakat gitu. Misalnya kayak Yakult, ya kita sama-sama tahu dong ya namanya bakteri penting gitu buat usus kan. Tapi kalau marketernya Yakult itu nggak jago buat ngomongin minuman probiotik itu penting, nggak jago ceritakan dengan animasi kalau ada bakteri baik dan jahat dan itu semuanya penting, kalau netizen nggak setuju kalau Yakult itu penting, akhirnya Yakult yang nggak jadi Yakult, kayak gitu kan. Gitu kakak-kakak. Nah, sekarang hubungannya sama sustainability itu apa? Nah, di sini kayak kita sama-sama mengingatkan lagi kalau the worst is yet to come. Kayak COVID-19 ini tuh cuman awal, Kak, cuman awal. Setelah ini bakal ada apa? Setelah ini pasti ada economic recession. Setelah itu dampak climate change pasti akan lebay, apalagi kayak kutub es mencair, bakteri-bakteri dari zaman purbakala udah muncul lagi dan segala macam kayak gitu. Nah, terus setelah itu apa? Biodiversity collapse. Kayak bayangin aja kalau biodiversity hilang kan teman-teman di sini udah tahu sendiri ya. Mungkin ya benar kayak kiamat mungkin dipercepat, mungkin Arab jadi hijau, kita jadi padang pasir gitu kan ya. Mungkin air jadi susah dan segala macam gitu. Nah, di sini karena kedepannya kita akan mengalami mega tsunami ini, kita harus benar-benar mempertanyakan lagi. Kayak teknologi itu buat apa sih? Kita mau jadi bioentrepreneur yang men-tackle isu yang seperti apa? Nah, kalau di Nusantics itu sebenarnya kita awalnya yang mau kita tackle isunya itu adalah climate change impact sama biodiversity collapse. Tapi apa daya tiba-tiba terkena pandemi gitu kan. Makanya di sini kita tuh punya 4 produk untuk 4 tsunami ini yang bakal jalan nanti sesuai timeline-nya. Misalnya kayak COVID-19 ini orang ngerespon, pasar ngerespon sama misalnya test kit. Ya kita jalanin test kit. Setelah itu pemulihan ekonomi yang bakal dibutuhkan, apa yang bakal dibutuhkan itu bukan ditakutin, tapi sebenarnya kayak bisa nggak ya saya mengirimkan anak ke sekolah, tapi sekolahnya itu udah divalidasi kalau sistem sirkulasi udaranya bagus dan segala macam, makanya kita ada bisnis seperti itu. Setelah itu adalah climate change. Makanya kita udah mulai jauh-jauh hari dari beauty sector nih, karena beauty sector di Indonesia itu marketnya gede, terus cewek-ceweknya itu benar-benar mau belajar gitu kan tentang ingredients ini apa sih fungsinya dan segala macam gitu kan. Jadi kita menggiring opini perlahan tapi pasti supaya mereka untuk memilih produk itu ada kesadaran. Climate conscious product. Itulah yang Nusantics Beauty sekarang kan. Yang akan ujung-ujungnya datang itu adalah ya kita tunggu aja nanti begitu data-datanya udah banyak dan segala macam kita akan punya AI sendiri dalam konteks microbiome. Nah, untuk microbiome diversity ini, kalau kami di Nusantics ini benar-benar udah ngecek satu-satu, tapi kita akan pastikan kalau sepanjang perjalanan kita dari sekarang dan 10 tahun ke depan, 17 dari 17 target dari Sustainable Development Goals itu emang tercapai. Karena ini kayak penting banget lah, mungkin teman-teman yang kuliahnya biologi kan pasti sadar banget ya, kalau sistem sekarang itu udah failed banget lah dalam menjaga keberlangsungan alam kayak gitu. Kayak apa sih hidup bahagia itu? Hidup bahagia itu sebenarnya hidup nenek moyang kita dulu gitu kan, kaum rebahan di bawah pohon, ngeliatin pohon, kalau mau makan tinggal metik, kalau mau pijat ya tinggal pijat, ngobrol-ngobrol sama orang, nggak perlu tiap hari punya bos laporan dan segala macam. Itu kan sebenarnya kayak gambaran hidup ideal tuh ya nenek moyang kita kayak gitu. Makin sekarang setelah pandemi kita makin tersadarkan kalau oh namanya hidup ideal tuh ya kayak gitu kan. Nah sekarang kalau di Nusantics itu kita maunya gimana supaya Indonesia itu tetap jadi Indonesia gitu. Jadi kayak orang-orang di desa yang udah hidup dengan bahagianya itu ya dia tetap bahagia kayak gitu, tapi dia dapat duit juga gitu kan, tanpa dia dibuat jadi ke kota-kotaan seperti itu kira-kira. Karena kakak-kakak kadang ya teknologi tinggi itu cuman ngajarin kita untuk lebih tunduk kepada alam lah. Misalnya kayak di film-film semesta ini. Kita di Nusantics itu juga beberapa kali ngobrol lah sama masyarakat adat. Ternyata ngajarin konsep microbiome itu ke mereka nyambung, justru mereka ketawa gitu loh. Mereka udah tahu sendiri kalau di badannya itu ada semesta sendiri, ada jagat alitnya sendiri, tapi ngajarin ke orang kota susah gitu kan. Nah gitu, jadi kayak dengan adanya genomics ini apa sih, ternyata kan kita benar-benar makin sadar gitu kan, kalau kayak apa every living things is its own universe gitu kan, termasuk juga badan kita, dan kebinekaan alias diversity benar-benar matters seperti itu. Nah itulah ceritanya, kayak filosofinya kenapa sih Nusantics tuh mengeluarkan produk-produk yang seperti ini. Nah terus sekarang kalau tadi kan sudah dijelaskan technicalities tentang bioentrepreneurship. Nah, sekarang saya pingin jadi apa ya? Pingin jadi kompor lah biar lebih banyak bioentrepreneur di Indonesia gitu kan. Lantas gimana sih supaya kayak dari teman-teman ini benar-benar berani ngambil resiko dan jadi bioentrepreneur juga gitu kan. Jadi kita meramaikan ekosistem di Indonesia. Nah, yang paling penting harus kita ingat itu adalah sekarang ini kan masa sulit. Nyari kerja sulit, nyari modal sulit, apa-apa tuh kayaknya sempit banget gitu kan. Nah, di masa-masa inilah yang kita butuhkan itu adalah kewarasan. Maksudnya apa kewarasan? Nah, kita di sini bayangkan kita ini adalah si kelinci nih. Goal akhir kita itu baik itu di karir atau di keluarga atau apa adalah mendapatkan si wortel gitu kan. Tapi kita harus lewat mezaninnya. Nah, tapi sebelum itu karena di sini semuanya LPDP semua, saya sebagai salah satu pendiri Mata Garuda pertama mau ngingetin lagi kenapa sih alumni LPDP itu namanya Mata Garuda, itu ada ceritanya. Jadi kalau burung Garuda alias elang Jawa itu kan sebenarnya indikator terjaganya suatu kawasan hutan tetap bagus gitu kan. Nah, kita ini sebagai alumni LPDP itu sebenarnya kayak diinginkan jadi matanya lah, jadi satelitnya lah yang benar-benar ngelihat dari atas gitu kan. Nah, karena kalau mata kita itu benar nih, kita ngelihat labirinnya itu benar-benar luas, kita bakal tahu oke, di depan belok kanan, habis itu putar balik terus belok kiri, akhirnya kita dapat ke si wortelnya ini. Tapi sayangnya mata kita itu nggak jernih, kakak-kakak semuanya. Kita tuh terkena virus yang bentuknya kayak donat lucu ini. Akibatnya yang kita tahu adalah, oh gue tahu ujungnya mau kayak gini. Mulainya tahu di tengah-tengah kira-kira gitu. Tapi gimana ya? Aduh gimana ya? Pusing. Akhirnya pusing mundur gitu kan. Nah sekarang kenapa sih kita tuh punya virus seperti ini? Dan ini sangat human gitu kan. Virus ini tuh awalnya tuh terdevelop tuh gara-gara apa? Nah, jadi namanya otak kita itu sama aja sama machine learning, sama aja sama AI. Kayak apa pikiran kita itu ditentukan sama data-data seperti apa yang dimasukin ke kepala kita. Jadi kalau kita misalnya pas lagi upbringingnya, oh kata sama gue nggak boleh gini, ntar jatuh, ntar keluar maghrib-maghrib udah makan setan, ntar gini, ntar gitu, ya udah akhirnya kepalanya ngingetinnya kayak gitu. Akibatnya kalau data-data terkait kayak gini yang negativity itu kebanyakan, ujung-ujungnya kita jadi parnoan. Ujung-ujungnya kita jadi negatif. Ujung-ujungnya kita jadi kayak membiarkan otak kita memikirkan hal-hal buruk yang kejadian aja belum loh. Jadinya self curse kan. Nah, virus ini kita tuh sama-sama harus kenal kalau kita mau jadi bioentrepreneur. Virus ini namanya PPP. Kenapa PPP? Karena ada singkatannya. P yang pertama itu adalah personalized, kedua pervasif, ketiga permanen. Apa tuh artinya? Artinya teh gini, personalized itu dia ngerasa pokoknya dia aja yang salah lah. Oh teman gue mah pintar, gue mah enggak gitu kan. Yang lain mah bisa, gue mah pasti nggak bisa. Pokoknya semuanya salah dia pasti nggak bisa gitu. Itu personalized, pasti ada di kita. Yang kedua P-nya itu adalah pervasif. Pervasif itu adalah dia ngerasa apapun ceritanya lingkungan tuh pasti jahat sama dia. Misalnya, aduh gue nggak berani lah tunjuk tangan pasti dibully sama dosen. Oh nggak berani lah ngomong kayak gini pasti kata bosnya salah. Ah pasti gini. Itu pervasif. Dia ngerasa lingkungan ngancurin dia, padahal enggak. Yang ketiga, ini yang udah parah, dan semoga teman-teman LPDP nggak ada yang kayak gitu. Ini udah permanen. Udahlah, gue nggak usah ngapa-ngapain, udah pasti gini-gini aja lah. Pemerintah udah pasti gini-gini aja, tinggal bubar, dan segala macam gitu. Nah, gitu ceritanya. Sekarang bayangin ya, kalau kita tinggal di lingkungan di mana teman kita itu kena virus 3P kayak gini, semua dalam kadar tinggi, kan rempes ya, mau ngomongin ide susah, mau berani bermimpi nggak berani, akhirnya negatif, ngerasa kecil, padahal kita nggak kecil. Nah, sekarang bayangin kalau kita punya bos, punya atasan, yang kayak gitu, kan pusing ya, punya ide macam-macam mau bosnya pasti nggak boleh, atau dosennya kayak gini, kan amit-amit ya, stres gitu kan. Nah gitu, bayangin kalau misalnya kita punya anak buah yang kena virus 3P, nah itu nggak boleh komplain, karena kalau pemain bosnya tidak bisa meluruskan anak buahnya untuk bebas virus 3P, yang nggak usah jadi bos aja gitu kan. Nah gitu, bayangin kalau kita jadi founder, sebuah perusahaan biotech, tapi kita kena virus 3P. Wah, ini mah udah susah, kakak-kakak. Belum apa-apa, udah pasti mikir, pasti gue nggak bisa lah kayak Gojek. Gue kan nggak punya network. Gue nggak berani lah ngomongin begini, ntar dicap halu. Wah, orang lihat muka gue aja udah ilfil atau apa segala macam. Bayangkan kalau pamer founder masih punya virus P3 gini, habis gitu ceritanya. Nah, jadi terakhir nih yang mau saya sampaikan adalah mau ngasih tips gitu kan, ya emang udah proven gimana sih caranya kita tuh melindungi otak kita dari si virus P3 itu. Sebenarnya gampang, cuman ada 3 aturan. Yang pertama adalah kita harus sadar dulu kalau kita punya virus P3 itu. Karena kalau kita udah sadar, otomatis di bawah sadar itu juga tahu gitu loh, kayak gue emang punya virus P3. Jadi setiap kita ada apa pemikiran yang negatif dikit, kita jadi self correct gitu, kayak ini emang pemikiran gue aja atau emang guanya yang perlu diperbaiki. Kayak gitu, itu powerful, ingat aja powerful. Yang kedua adalah kita harus melatih imajinasi kita. Jadi kayak imajinasi itu tergantung kita. Kalau kita imajinasinya besok teaching gagal, ya gagal gitu kan. Tapi kalau kita imajinasinya, wah nanti saya bakal ketemu ini, ketemu teman yang sevisi, temu gini, imajinasinya bagus, ya kita bakal bagus gitu ke depan. Terus yang ketiga adalah kita harus sama-sama ingat kalau hidup itu adalah paradoks. Hidup itu selalu antara kiri dan kanan, dan antara itu kita harus selalu mencari jalan seperti itu. Jadi kira-kira begitu. Karena nanti begitu teman-teman itu udah mulai sadar diri dulu lah, gue punya virus P3, pelan-pelan dikurangin. Yang kedua, imajinasinya dilatih dengan detail yang bagus-bagus, jangan yang jelek-jelek. Sama yang ketiga ya benar-benar optimis aja, pasti ada jalan. Nanti begitu masing-masing dari itu udah bebas nih dari si virus P3, atau at least virus P3-nya kayak viral load-nya udah dikit banget gitu kan, pasti masing-masing itu ada jalannya sendiri. Nggak harus kita ngikutin jalan orang lain, karena tiap orang itu kan ada fungsinya sendiri di kehidupan ini kan. Begitu. Jadi kayak akhir kata nih, sebagai sesama alumni LPDP, sebagai salah satu pendiri Mata Garuda juga, di sini ya benar-benar saya berharap semoga sharingnya itu bermanfaat, semoga akan lebih banyak bioentrepreneurship lain, karena ya balik lagi, dalam hal biodiversity tanah dan air, Indonesia itu nomor 1 di dunia. Dan karena the next tech is biology, harusnya kali ini game di dunia itu memimpin, teman-teman. Indonesia yang harusnya memimpin. Jadi itulah, kayak makasih sampai di sini kakak moderator, semoga bermanfaat dan tunggu diskusi selanjutnya.
Wow, terima kasih. Thank you very much, Ms. Charlene Eriza Putri. It was very interesting presentation. You got some talking point about from create a new breed of that is very different from other companies using microbiomes swapped as the selling point of this business. And that's one important are the sustainable development from Nusantik is the next technology is not technology, but biology will be the future technology. The final implementation is the key to netizen request, and it will be a magic. Thank you so much, Mr. Charlene Eliza Putri. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we will go ahead and take some time for the question now. Just a reminder, please be sure to type your question into the question box in your Zoom control panel. And for the first, as a moderator, I would like to asking to the speaker. Okay, the first question. All right. The first question is, we are aware that bioentrepreneurs have tremendous potential to develop in the future. And we know that all elements are very needed to develop this business. And what do you think about the government toward bioentrepreneur in Indonesia? Maybe I would like to give opportunity of this question to Mr. Arianda Haryadi. First to answer this question to Mr. Arianda Haryadi, please.
Okay, thank you for the questions about the bioentrepreneurships in Indonesia. I think, okay, I think I quite get the question here. So it's about what should we or what could we do in Indonesia to nurture the bioentrepreneurships, right? I think first of all there should be a strong political will to support this this ecosystem, because currently I can see that there is a gap between the government and the scientists, and making plans for development in Indonesia. So that should be bridged first. There has to be more communications between the government and scientists, to do more about bioentrepreneurships, that's for sure. Because as Mas Amak has said before, bioentreprenerships is very challenging, because we have to face all of the problems that normal entrepreneurs have to face, but then we have to make sure that it's always scientific, and there's always scientific challenges, and it's also highly regulated as well. So yeah, I think one of the most important thing is to bridge the gap between the regulatory and the executor sector. One of the examples here, I think, in terms of biological products for medicine, I think it's very hard to fulfill the regulations made by the government right now, to make a high standard, to at least have a qualified standards to make biological based products. So yeah, I think we need to bridge the communication between government and entrepreneurs. That's for sure. We can see lots of examples, evidences that have passed in this pandemic's time. There have been quite a lot of miscommunications between scientists and the government. So yeah, we need to build more. We need to build better relationship between the scientists, the life scientists, and the government. Yeah, that's what comes to my mind for now. Thank you for the question, Nurul.
Mr. Aryananda, maybe I would like to maybe another one from a different point of view maybe can be answered to Mr. Amak Muhammad Yaakob for the same question.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. So the question is related to what government support that should be provided for the bioentrepreneurs in Indonesia. I think I will answer it with a very tactical thing. First, they can use our products. For example, if they need to have to check the air condition during this pandemic, you can use Nusantik's products. Or if they have a program to combat stunting, and we have the backup, scientific backup, the use of microalgae, types of microalgae, then they can use our products. That's huge support from the government. That's the first thing. The second thing, the cost of research and development is really, really big, and the success is never guaranteed. So if the government can, provide easier, administrative things for us, for the bioentrepreneurs, for the Indonesian bioentrepreneurs community to access the research grant to develop new product for the betterment of Indonesia, of course, that also very appreciated. I think that two tactical things are very important support from the government side. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Amak. Okay, next question. Okay, the question are, in your opinion, how a biology or an entrepreneur community can boost up bioentrepreneur in Indonesia? Maybe I would like to give this opportunity to Mr. Widya Putra to answer this question. Please, Mr. Widya Putra.
Okay, thank you very much. So what I think is biology or even microbiology too, I think can give inspiration, because in my field, for example, microbiology, like a lot of, as we know, a lot of bacteria can be used for fermentation. And yeah, because my point of view as food entrepreneur, so I think still a lot of bacteria, like also fungi or mushroom, can be used as one of like raw material that can be developed as a food, vitamins, even for health sector also. So yeah, this major has big potential of it. And for entrepreneur community, I joined quite a lot entrepreneur community, and I feel this is very useful for us. For instance, also like to share information, because nowadays there are a lot of also competition, and also like startup competition, food startup competition, and also like technology competition that we can get from the community that we join, because they also share some information about that, not only competition, but also like from government support, like for example, like free for PIRT for food, and also for halal certification, and so on and so on. So I really recommend, if some of you want to be entrepreneur, and you must join more and more entrepreneur community. It will be useful. Okay, thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Widya. And the next question. All right. It look like to Mr. Sarlina Eliza Putri. The question are, for Nusantic CEO, how can you make sure your skin product are safe and work for human? And can you share your experience when serving the first customer? Thank you. I would like to give this opportunity to Ms. Sarlina Eliza Putri to answer this question. Please, Ms. Sarlina Eliza Putri.
Yeah. So first, before releasing our products, we have to make sure that it is fully comply in accordance to the regulation, right? For example, like Izin Edar Kementerian Kesehatan or BPOM. But before that, like years before we are releasing the first skin product, we have been doing extensive research with extensive amount of money. So it's like half clinical study. So by strictly adhering to that quality standard, that's why sorry, my baby. Yeah. So by by ensuring that we are strictly comply with that regulation, that's why we can make sure that this is 100% safe for human. So first is data, and the second one is compliance to the regulation. And regarding the first experience when serving the first customer, I don't recall it was like extraordinary experience. So it just like a business as usual, like another day in business. I don't know, maybe because I was starting the entrepreneurship like years ago, or I don't know, but I cannot share you on this.
Charlene Elizabeth, maybe it will be your last questions. All right. Last question is question for Mr. Amak Muhammad Yaakob, the CEO of Spiral Life. Okay. The question are, as far as we know, there are several similar alga-based startup in Indonesia. Therefore, what makes the Spiral Life company different with another alga startup, and how Spiral Life able to compete with another alga startup? Maybe this question for Mr. Amak Muhammad Yaakob, please, Mr.
Yes, sir. Yeah, thank you very much. So yeah, we really understand that there are several other alga-based startup in Indonesia, and yeah, actually my co-founder, the one that dealing with the technical and the scientific thing, were involved in some of that startups. So we really know their technology. And well, actually, Spiral Life was born after this co-founder finishing his PhD. So before he started his PhD, he was involved in that startups. So this is the next step of the microalga technology in Indonesia, I can say, after the process of PhD stuff research. But that's not our main competitive advantage, and we never see the other companies in Indonesia as a competitor. Never ever in our mind we think that way. The truth is we have good communication with some of them. We have good communication also mediated by some universities like UGM. We have communications. We share what's new. Sometimes if there is offering from abroad to develop the scale up process of producing microalgae in Indonesia, because they know that the cost will be very much lower if we produce microalgae in Indonesia compared to in the European countries, for example. And once we think that we cannot handle it ourselves, then we contact them. So there is no competition here, and we see them as a collaborator because the market is really huge. And why should we compete each other? So there is no use of competition in our perspective. But in terms of comparative advantage, we can claim that yeah, we have the network not only in Europe but also in the US in terms of product development, and maybe the background of the co-founders. I myself and also the co-founder, he also works in a university in lab, so we can access the latest. Everyone can access it, but not. But I think we can claim that we are actively involved in the development of the knowledge itself. And yeah, is it possible? Yes, of course, it is possible. And yeah, actually, at this moment, we are developing our second production facilities in Jombang, Indonesia. I think Malang is close to Jombang. Once it is ready, I think we can have a chat. We can talk there. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Ahmad Yakub, for the awesome answer. Okay. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, now we are approaching the end of this webinar. For the final remarks is one key point. Bioentrepreneur is the process of creating values from the life science innovations such as health, nutrition, energy, enzyme, environment, agriculture, and etc. It is make differently entrepreneurship and bioentrepreneurship. The biotech industry is the highest strictly regulated sector in the business, and that's one the important are the next technology is not technology, but bio will be the future technology. Bioentrepreneur has a great opportunity to develop because it's a business that is related to the life of many people and will never die and has strategic place in the future. And we all just need to be brave to start, and opportunities will be wide open, including in Bioentrepreneur. And ladies and gentlemen, I would like to thank for all the speakers that's already presenting and give us a valuable information and knowledge during this webinar. Thank you very much to all the speakers and all the participants and with all the questions. And we are sorry that all questions cannot be answered because so many questions. And thank you very much and big applause for us. Thank you so much. Having good day for everyone and see you next time. Return to the MC. Thank you.
Thank you. And for the unanswered questions, you can drop your questions to my email. So I'm open for further communication. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Thank you, Mr.
Ya, terima kasih banyak ya Arya, Mbak Sarlin, Widya. Thank you. Sampai jumpa lagi kapan-kapan.
Iya, terima kasih.
Ya, terima kasih juga untuk pembawa acara yang keren banget, Nurul. Thank you. Thanks for having us. Ya.
Well, thank you for Nurul Izaza for moderating our core events today. And we are also thank you for our amazing keynote speakers who has such a beneficial matter. And for the next event is awarding appreciation certificate to our keynote speakers today. Well, first certificate respectfully we give to the Mr. Amak Muhammad Yaakob. Here the certificate, please accept the certificate symbolically,
Thank
Mr.
you. Thank you.
Okay. The next certificate is second certificate. We give it to Mr. Aryananda Haryadi. To
Thank
Mr.
you.
Haryadi, please accept this certificate symbolically.
Well, next certificate we respectfully give to Mr. Vidya Putra. Here's the certificate. Please
thank you.
accept the certificate symbolically, Mr.
Okay, thank you.
All right. The last certificate belongs to Mrs. Charlene Eriza Putri. Mrs.
Thank you.
Eriza Putri, please accept this certificate symbolically. All right. The next event is a photo session. So all participants are requested to activate the camera because we will take photo together. I'm gonna take screenshot of the Zoom screens. If it's possible for you to have some photo style, show us your smile. Open your camera. We're gonna take slide by slide, right? The first slide, okay? We don't know which slide we are in, so only open the camera and smile every session, right? Okay? We're gonna take in 3, 2, 1. Cheese! Okay, awesome. Next, all right.
Okay, jump to the next slide. We will count at 3, 2, 1. You can also say cheese together and show your best smile because we are so happy to see your sweet smile, of course. So I will take at 3, 2, 1, cheese. Okay. Next slide. I will take at 3, 2, 1, smile, cheese. Okay, next slide. 1, 2, 3, cheese. Okay, for the next slide, I'll take at 3, 2, 1, cheese. Okay, thank you for everyone for your best smile that you give in these photo sessions. With the end of our core events and the end of our photo sessions, unfortunately, it will also the end of our program today. We, as the Master of Ceremony, would like to thank for all participants who attend the International Bioentrepreneur webinar. We also apologize for any shortcomings. I am Nur Anissa.
And I am Muhammad Gading.
We say goodbye and please wait for our next webinar in the future. See you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi
Give applause for ourselves.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you guys.
Thank you,
Good
Miss.
job.
Thank you, Mister. Thank you for all participants.
Mas Amal,
Yeah.
Thank you.
thank you Mas Arya, Mas Widya, dan juga Mbak Charlini. Terima kasih.
Sama-sama.
Thank you.
Izin live ya. Sampai jumpa lagi.
Ya.
Izin live juga. Assalamualaikum.
Bye, izin live.
Well, our webinar today just end up. So you may have leave our room if you have another activity. So please go on your activity. Thank you for all participants and our keynote.
Thank you. Bye.